welcome. Today I have another ink sample review for you. This one is by Noodlers and is called Sequoia Green. And sequoias are those giant trees that you see in places like the Sequoia National Forest. So I thought this would be a really pretty color to try out. I don't know much about the ink other than that. So let's go ahead and take a look. All right, it's a really nice deep green color. Super pretty. Yeah, it's a really nice green. All right, let's go ahead and write the name. All right. That's how it's looking so far. Very nice green so far. I'm going to set this under a fan to dry. I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. So I've got some copy paper here, and what I like to do is I like to test these inks out on copy paper, because sometimes you're in a situation where you're at school or work or something, maybe you don't have access to your fancy papers, and you just want to know, if you put this in a pen, are you going to be able to take it with you and use it in every situation? So all right, Sequoia Green, and this is copy paper. There we go. All right, so far so good. Let's set that aside. And then we're going to do the same thing with some HP 32 paper. And HP 32 is also copy paper, but it is smoother and it resists the ink. So if your ink has any special properties, sometimes they will show up on this paper. So I always like to include it. It's also a really nice budget option. HP 32. And if there are any colors you would like to see me review, just leave a suggestion, and if I have it or if I can get it, we'll do a review video. All right, that's how that's looking so far. We'll set that aside. And then here is the Tomoe River paper. And Tomoe River paper is super smooth and resists the ink very nicely. Usually the inks are going to look best on this paper because of how well it shows off all the special properties. So I always include it. Okay. And this is Tomoe River. And if you enjoy these videos, or if they're helpful to you at all, don't forget to hit like and subscribe so you don't miss any, and it also helps me out. All right, that's how that's looking so far. I'm going to check on our swatch and see if it's dry. I'll be right back. All right, we're back. So here's how it looks on the copy paper. You have a lovely green color. Very, very pretty and not super bright. So this is good. It's very legible. It's very muted a little bit. It would probably even be a work-safe color. It's really nice. And then you compare that to the HP 32. Let me get that pulled out here. All right, and this is a much, much deeper, richer color on the HP 32. They almost look like different colored inks. And there is a little bit of shading here in the writing that comes out in certain places. I think this would probably look really good in a finer nib where it wasn't putting down so much ink, if you wanted to see the range of colors. That is my assumption, but it does look really good on both papers. And then here it is on the Tomoe River. And on the Tomoe River, there's a little bit of a sheen here. It looks like a black sheen maybe. It's kind of hard to tell, but that does add quite a bit to the shading on the writing. So here it's a little bit lighter, then you've got this darker green, and then that black where the ink is laid down heavier, which adds kind of an interesting dimension to the shading. So it's very, very different inks on all three papers, but it's really pretty. So I think if I was to put this in a pen, I would test it out in a fine nib and just see what I could get out of that, see how much variation in color I could get, because it is a very nice solid green, and I'm just kind of curious to see because my pen lays down a lot of ink, I'm kind of curious to see how it would look if there was less ink being put down. So anyways, that's interesting, a very pretty color. And then here it is on the swatch, and here you can really see the range of green. So you've got like this lighter green here, and then this darker green color. And then down here you can see that black sheen. I think that the camera might pick that up. And then, of course, you've got in the writing, you can see the shading and a wider range of the colors. So this is a really pretty color. I'll leave a link down below where you can find it. And thank you so much for watching. You have a great day.